I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Scoop and Score, a Football Network. It is NFL Week 6, believe it or not. Starts tonight. It is Thursday Night Football this evening. We have a matchup, but lo and behold, we have a great weekend of football, including, in my opinion, the two best games of the season so far later on this weekend when we will see the Bills and Chiefs play, and then Sunday Night Football, we'll see the Cowboys and Eagles play, which I think is probably going to be the most watched game of the season so far. How we doing, fellas?
Good, man. Excited to be back. Had a big week last week. The show did pretty well. Let's repeat. BBB, how we doing?
We're good. And yeah, a lot of people not too high on this Thursday Night Football matchup, but I like it. I think there's some good value tonight, some good props, and I got a side I like on this one. So I'm excited to get into it.
Awesome, man. Well, you know what? You know how we like to do things. Let's not waste anybody else's time. Let's get into it. First game is the game that is kicking off in a little under 3 hours. Commanders-Bears. I don't know why Amazon Prime paid $1 billion for the rights to this, but they did. And we have two really bad offenses two really bad teams. Let me not put this all on the offenses. It's supposed to be bad weather, and this is one of the most unexciting games, but somebody's got to win. BBB, we're going to start with you. Who wins this game, man?
Man,
you know what?
Don't
Don't answer that. I have a better question. If Carson Wentz doesn't come out tonight and play well, is this the end of the road?
I don't know if it's the end of the road because we talked about this a little preseason. I think teams are always going to just continue to give him a shot. He's going to have a spot in the league, whether it's a backup or somewhere in the league. He's going to get a shot. That MVP season he had, it's got him a life in this league more than he really should have. And so, but I'm rocking with him in this one. His Thursday Night Football numbers are pretty insane. We've seen some tweets circulating. The stats are insane on Thursday Night Football. And in there, I do think there is a little bit of the old Carson Wentz. So we've seen him flash at times, but we've also seen the ugly Carson Wentz as well. We saw them get a win against Jacksonville. I thought that was a good win to open the year. It's probably going to be an ugly game. This game tonight is going to be an ugly game. But, you know, that's kind of where they've thrived. It was not the prettiest game against Jacksonville. But they should have arguably won last week against Tennessee, but they choked that one away. And, you know, these two are both similar types of teams where I think we see an ugly game. I think Carson Wentz and the Commanders get it done. I think they got the overall better team, and I'm kind of high on them tonight. So I'm rocking with the Commanders -1. I'm playing the money line personally, but I think you can go with either one. I think you'll see some success.
Alpha?
Yeah, I can see the Commanders winning. I don't want to touch a side in this one just because I can't trust either team. Taking a look at both quarterbacks' offensive numbers, Carson Wentz has 10 touchdowns to 6 picks. Not great. Justin Fields, 3 touchdowns to 4 picks. We keep saying this. Cooper Kupp has more receptions than Justin Fields has completions, which is just a ridiculous
stat. Actually, it's the same. It's the same amount, 49. Cooper Kupp has 49 catches. Justin Fields has 49 completions. It's still an absolutely
either way, it's
disgusting stat.
It's disgusting. I'm taking the under 37.5, and I absolutely love this play. I don't think either offense is really going to get it going. I think it's going to be a slop fest. We know what both teams like to do, and it's to pound the rock. They're going to run the ball. So interesting, though, to see how the Washington Commanders running backs does tonight in his first start since getting shot. Robinson, so excited to see how he does.
I just want to reference BBB, what he said about Carson Wentz's Thursday night stats. 1,443 passing yards, 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 6-0. Man has never lost on Thursday night. He's the anti-Kirk Cousins, if you will. And I'm rocking with him. I'm rocking with him because I think there's a wild perception going on tonight that the Bears are a better team than the Commanders. And if you look at the numbers, the Bears are one of the, if not the worst team in the league, numbers-wise. Yes, they compete. Yes, they play hard, but numbers don't lie. If you look at Carson Wentz's numbers, I think he's like the 6th-ranked quarterback in passing yards, in touchdowns thrown. I mean, they're not losing games because of him. They're losing games because, to be honest with you, their defense isn't playing that great. And they have very little weapons. They should be playing better with wide receivers like Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson. I don't really understand. So I'm going to take the Commanders. I think Carson Wentz comes out here and kind of proves to mainstream America, national television. I guess it technically is national television, even though it's streamed. That he can win a game. And
I think this is a revenge spot for him as well, because don't forget that the Rivera comments were literally just last week about why they were struggling. So
last
much,
week
he only had one word to say.
Monday. They were Monday. They were 3 days ago.
I think he comes out, and I think we see a little bit of Carson Wentz revenge game. There's a lot of good props. Make sure to check us out on SoBet. I have a full prop slate on there as well as that. SoBet.io. Use code ATS. Get 25 plus other cappers. So just a little plug there for you guys. We've been hot on SoBet. So,
oof. Oh yeah, we have. And I got SGPs on SoBet, and I got 4 player props for tonight on SoBet. So make sure you go check out SoBet tonight. All right, guys, keep it moving. Let's move on to the Sunday slate. What do we got? Ravens, Giants, Giant Stadium. We don't need an introduction on this one. Giants are 4-1. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. The Giants are 4-1, coming off a huge victory in London over the Packers. Ravens coming off of a solid victory too. Sunday Night Football, they beat the Bengals at home. It wasn't pretty, but it doesn't matter. They got the job done. They're 3-2 on the year. They're the road favorites here. -5.5, -5 at some books. Alpha, they're our team. What do you like from the squad this Sunday?
I mean, the squad's been unbelievable. Saquon Barkley is the lifeblood of that offense, and I can't talk enough every single week on here about Daniel Jones. The guy's got a bum tire. He's got a flat right ankle. The guy gets his hand stepped on, is bleeding everywhere. You've seen the pictures. His center had blood on the back of his pants in a certain spot. It was quite a funny picture. But that's how bad his hand was, and they continue to get the job done. And you're going to give me 6 points at home. Not my favorite play of the weekend. But I think the Giants do cover here, and we do know Lamar Jackson is 5-7 against NFC teams against the spread. He's 12-0 on winning outright, but 5-7 against the spread. The trend continues. Give me the Giants plus the 7.
Maybe.
I'm rocking with the Ravens here. I think it's a public play here, but I think the public gets one back. We saw a sharp weekend last weekend. We saw a lot of sharp plays hit. This is a public one that I think hits simply because it's not really a good matchup for the Giants. The way the Ravens get beat is through the pass game. The Giants don't really have the pass game, I think, that's going to be able to, just really embarrass this Ravens team that we've seen from other teams. Where they've really struggled is against crazy wide receiver cores like the Bills and the Dolphins. But, going up against a team that doesn't seem to have any receivers, I don't know if Saquon's going to be enough to get them over the hump. And I'm Saquon and Danny Dimes, they've been playing some phenomenal football. So it's a little scary to fade them here, especially at home. But I'm going to rock with the Ravens. I think this is going to be one of the public plays that kind of sneaks through this week. So I'm rocking with the Ravens.
We thought you'd learn after fading the boys in London, BBB, that you would start finally joining the Giants train. Maybe soon if they pull it off this weekend. Hopefully we'll get you on board with us soon. Hefe, what you got?
I'm a little shocked. Neither of you pointed out the obvious here. This is the Wink Martindale revenge game, people.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's what it comes down to. This guy's been the defensive coordinator in Baltimore for years and years and years. A guy who was known to blitz on freaking first down, anywhere, middle of the field, red zone, doesn't matter. He always took his chances. He knows his defense. He knows these players. He's been coaching these guys. And he's going to be the reason that the Giants are going to be able to stay in this game. I don't know if they can keep up with them offensively. But I think on defense, they can do enough to bottle up Lamar Jackson and possibly make a mistake. I'm going to take the Giants plus 5.5 in this one.
Up to 6. Line is now at plus 6.
Plus 6. Let's go. All right, guys, keep moving. All right, guys, Bengals Saints. I'm going to put this out there before we even get into this game. This is the public game of the week. 92% of the handle is on the Bengals -2. 81% of money line bets are on the Bengals money line. Bengals coming off a Sunday Night Football loss. It was close. They lost it at the end. Justin Tucker, what are you going to do? The Saints, they got a good victory. They scored more points than they really have scored in past. The Taysom Hill, I think, what did he score? 3 touchdowns?
Mm-hmm.
I believe he did score 3 touchdowns. And they scored a lot of points against Seahawks. Ended up getting the W. Kamara looked healthy, but they're still banged up. Olave concussion, don't know if he's playing. Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry did not practice today, Wednesday. It's usually an indication. Thursday. It's usually an indication that they won't play. So this is an interesting game and a weird line. Alpha, what do you think?
Man, this is a game I don't like to have a lot of exposure on. It's just a really weird line. Because of that, I'm not taking a side. I am going to take another total here. I am going to go with the under. I do think this one stays a little bit low because the protection for Joe Burrow has just not been there. Continue to get hit, so I think this is going to stay pretty low.
I'm rocking with the Saints in this one. I think this is one of the sharpest lines of the week. Talked about it on the last matchup. I think that the Saints at the Superdome, they got you on that 2.5-2 line. I think everyone's going to see that and say, "Wow, I can get it for less than the field goal." We win by, like they think it's a sharp line though. It was a sharp week last week, and I talked about how I think that the Ravens are one of the public plays. I don't know if we're going to see too many public plays though, so I'm rocking with the Saints. I think this is another sharp play. Taysom Hill's shown that it's helped this red zone offense a lot. They can have some different looks in there. I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom Hill has another decent game here, at least touchdown wise, fantasy wise. Yeah, I'm rocking with the Saints. I think they could possibly win this one outright. I think there's too many questions with this Bengals team, and people are still riding off that Super Bowl run from last year, and they haven't really been able to prove their worth this year, though.
I'm right there with you, BB. I'm on the Saints, but I'm going to wait because I think this line's going to get better for the Saints. I think when players like Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry ended up getting that out designation rather than questionable, you're going to see this line jump to that plus 2.5, plus 3 range where you can still lose by a field goal and cover, and that's where my comfort zone is. I think the Saints' ability defensively is what's going to really change this game in their favor. Their up-front guys are still stellar players. Cam Jordan is one of the best linemen in this league, and I think he's going to find success getting after Joe Burrow back in the secondary. They do have the Honey Badger. Let's not forget about him. He could be lethal at times, and he's a ball hawk. And, he literally just faced Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. So he knows what he's doing. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Bills Chiefs, one of the biggest games this week, without a doubt. Look, everybody heard the stat. Everybody knows the stat. Patrick Mahomes has never lost as a home underdog in his career, 7-0 against the spread, that is. And the Bills are coming in. They're minus 2.5 in Arrowhead. I think this line is correct. I really do. The Bills are a more complete team than the Chiefs are. But this comes down to, can Patrick Mahomes pull a rabbit out of his hat like he normally does against the Bills and get a dub? In my opinion, this is a bigger game for the Bills than it is for the Chiefs. The Chiefs can lose this game. They're going to be fine. The Bills need this win because they want to ensure that the path to the Super Bowl in their conference goes through Buffalo. With that being said, BBB, what do you think here, man?
Man, I'm rocking with the Chiefs in this one. Just on historical matchups and just the way that they've played against this team, I think they get it done at home. You listed off some of the trends. You listed off some of the stuff of he's never been a home underdog, and I think that he wants to prove something here. I think that the Chiefs get it done in a very tight one. I'm going to take them on the money line here. I think that they get it done. I think this is something we'll see obviously later on in the season, postseason. As a rematch, though, and I think this could definitely flip the script here. I think that last year we saw the Bills have that crazy, one of the craziest games in the playoffs, and then we also had a good regular season matchup, but the Bills ended up blowing them out. I think we might see a little bit of reversal here. I think the Bills, getting a little far ahead here, but I think the Bills are one of the teams to beat. I just don't know if they're at that point right here in the regular season. I think the script's kind of flipped from last year, where they looked like they were the world beaters during the year and ended up tailing off in the playoffs. I think it's going to the script will flip a little bit from last year, and we're going to see more of a mediocre year for their standards, and then the playoffs I think it's going to really turn it up. So I'm rocking with the Chiefs in this one, and I'm taking them on the money line.
I understand why you're going to go that route. I'm going to jump in here, Hefe, because unfortunately, BBB, I have to tell everyone to disregard everything you just said because it's such a Bills play. The Bills are by far the better team, and they have everything to prove. They want to show that they are the team that is destined to win the Super Bowl this year. And how do you do that? You knock off a team like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not messing with the points. I'm taking the money line minus 145. It's a little juicy, but the Bills are going to get it done. So we could get a cover by KC and a win by the Bills, so everyone's happy here, but I'm super confident that the Bills do get the dub here. Hefe, what do you think?
I am locking step with you, Alpha. I like the Bills here. Sorry, BB. I think it goes back to what I said. I think this game is way bigger for the Bills than it is for the Chiefs. The Chiefs can lose this game, and mentally, they're going to be fine. They're going to march on with their season. The Bills need this win. They're going to come out with tenacity, with energy. They're going to come out. This is their Super Bowl because, honestly, that's what it probably feels like right now in that locker room. They're about to walk into a stadium that the last time they were in, they probably had the worst loss of their careers individually as players, each and every one of them. That doesn't go away. And I can tell you that this week, if Sean McDermott's the type of coach that I think he is, he's replaying that damn game over and over and over again to them. Bills don't lose this game. Bills going to win. Money line, let's roll. What do we got next? Cowboys and the Eagles.
Oh,
Sunday night football. Look, as a Giant fan, it pains me to say this, but the Eagles are right now on record the best team in the NFL. They have the best offensive line, in my opinion. They have a quarterback who's playing with a lot of confidence. They have wide receivers that are studs. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They have a great tight end, Dallas Goedert. And on defense, they look fast, like scary fast, like very, very fast. They might not be the best defense as a group, but individual units, I think they're exceptional. This team, though, excels at the offensive line. And this is where this game is going to be won and lost. We all know who Dallas has. We don't got to go crazy about it. Micah Parsons, my opinion, if not the best, top 3 defense player in the league. We all have to admit that. It's going to come down to the opposite side. How does Cooper Rush keep this going? Does he fall? Do they get pressure on Jalen Hurts? I don't know. This is a tough one with a big line. Alpha, what do you think? -6. This has risen, but this opened up at 5. I'm shocked that it's all the way up to 6.5.
yeah. First, I want to start with the NFC East is so back. It's so great as a fan of a team in the NFC East to see this division not be the laughing stock.
The Commanders to win tonight to up our ante as a freaking division.
It don't matter. It don't matter. We could have one bad team in the NFC East, but at least not every team, is like 2-14 this year, which is a great thing to see. For this game, though, I do think the Cowboys cover. I think it's a lot of points for the Eagles. 6.5 by a full touchdown in a divisional game is a lot of points. Cowboys will keep it close, but the Eagles get the dub, in my opinion. Cowboys plus 6.5.
I'm going to have to go against it. I think that the Eagles are proving that they are one of the top teams. Like Hefe said here, I think that, that it's going to be too much for Cooper Rush here at the moment. The moment is going to be a little too much. It's at Eagles Stadium, which, if Philly sports fans, they are going to be fired up for this matchup. There's always bad blood here. I think that it's going to be difficult for Cooper Rush if he gets put in a negative game script. He's had the benefit of always being in these positive game scripts, being ahead, not too much pressure, but coming from behind, I think that's where there's going to be the true test. So I like this Eagles team to get out early on him. I think this defense is going to be one of the tougher tests that he's faced so far. And don't get me wrong, this Dallas defense is elite in my opinion. And I think it's going to show some problems for them. But I think that the Eagles overall are the better team. And I think they win this by a touchdown plus. You can get this line at -6, and I'm taking it right there. I think the Eagles make a statement here at home.
One quick thing I want to drop in before you go, Hefe. I did want to say Dallas 4-1 ATS this year, Eagles 3-2. Don't let the records fool you.
Absolutely. And Cooper Rush, as we all know, as we all seen, has never lost a game against the spread. Man is a covering machine. But guys, I'm going to take another angle here. I'm actually going to take the over of 42. I know it's a kind of a fade of the primetime under stats that we've been seeing, but I'm looking at these two teams and I'm thinking to myself, okay, whoever's going to win this game is going to – I don't see this as like a 16, 13, 19, 12, grinded out game. I think these two teams are going to come out and try to punch each other in the mouth. Like legit. It's going to be rough football, big hits, big plays, big risk taking because what BBB said is correct. The Cowboys have never really been under the gun from the start. They've kind of found their ways to manage games, and then they either have the lead early and maintain it, or they're kind of close, always within a touchdown, always within a field goal, and then they take the lead and never look back. I can see this being one of those. Eagles go up 10-0. Cowboys start coming back 10-7, 13-7, 14-13 kind of deal. I don't know who wins this game, but my official play is going to be the over of 42. I kind of lean for the Cowboys on the spread and the Eagles to get the straight up W. But officially over 42. All right, guys, let's take it on over to Monday Night Football, where per Alpha Dog Bets instructions, the Broncos are once again on national television.
What did you just call me?
Alphabet dog.
Alphabet soup. What are you doing?
Alphabet soup. This is what you wanted, man. You get another day, another night where nothing else is on. Just you and Russell Wilson. And just wondering, how you feel about that.
Look at me. I want everyone to look at me. I want the NFL to look at me. Roger Goodell, I know you're not going to, but I wish you would look at me. Stop putting the Broncos on prime time. We don't care about Russell Wilson, and we don't care about the Broncos. 4 out of 6 weeks, I got to watch these guys with nobody else on. It's just been painful. The Chargers are going to absolutely steamroll them out of the building. -4.5. Take the alt line at minus 13.5. The Chargers are winning this game by at least 2 touchdowns.
VV, you know how this
They
is
are.
going to go, right?
They are.
You know
I know.
the Broncos are going to win by
Yeah.
like 14, right? Like,
So here's what I'm saying. This is actually it's one of the grossest games, but it's one of my
it's
favorite
so
plays. of
bad.
the
No.
week. It's one of my-
The Broncos are disgusting, and I'm tired of watching that team. But the
All right.
Chargers are a good football team. I did not say this
You
was going
care
to
if
be
I get my
horrible
play out?
game. No, because everyone knows it's Chargers by 14.
All right. Well, it's actually the Broncos plus 4.5. You're buying right into the narrative. This is Monday Night Football. This is your pockets are about to just get absolutely emptied. You're telling everyone to hammer it. This is where the Broncos are going to show up. This is a banged up Chargers team. Yes, they are. And, when you look at them on paper, they are a great team. And they will be a great team. But not right now. They're not. Not right now. They are not at all. I think this is where the Broncos can take advantage of it. This is a divisional game. This Chargers home game is not necessarily a Chargers home game. We've seen that throughout, the last couple of years. I think that they're not going to have troubles with, it being in a road game. It's a Monday Night Football game, prime time. I think Russ is going to show up. I think Russ is finally going to show up. That defense is going to continue to be there. They're going to give them problems. They've been there all year. It's just on the offense. If Nathaniel Hackett can stay out of the way, I think the Broncos get it done.
Oh my God.
Plus 4.5. Book it. I'm taking it. One of my favorite bets. And I know everyone's going to hate that, but guess what? The Broncos are getting it done on prime time. Russ is cooking, baby.
I like how you say that the Chargers are pretty banged up. Meanwhile, the Broncos just lost a running back for the season. Their second-string running back, Melvin Gordon's a true questionable. Half of their offensive line is on the injury report. Half of their defensive line is on the injury report. The Chargers injury report has 2 people on it.
All right. Enough.
We're not that banged up.
Enough of that side talk then. Let's do a side bet. Let me know what you want out any of it. Let me know.
We'll get to it. We'll get to that. We'll post later on Twitter and TikTok what we decided to do for the bet.
You're not going to see this one coming, but I'm with BVV, man. And it's all because of the narrative. If the Broncos weren't as bad as I saw them be, I would be on the Chargers. But this should be a -7. This should be closer to a -7. We just saw them look atrocious.
The line's right. The line's right.
To the Colts. To the freaking Colts. People were leaving during the coin flip of overtime. That's how bad it was.
But it was a close game. They kept it close. It's not going to be close this week, though, because
Matt Ryan is 77 years old, and they somehow kept it close. Jonathan Taylor didn't even play. Naeem Hines got a concussion in the first play.
Third play.
And they still stuck with it. And
You're not wrong.
game.
You're not wrong there.
And
You're not wrong there.
4.5 against the Chargers, who might not be meshing very well. Justin Herbert's obviously injured. We all know that. But they're winning. They're getting it done. They still have Austin Eckler. They still have lots of weapons. They still have a great defense. Taking the Broncos was 4.5. Line makes no sense.
I can't wait till we recap this next week.
Now, I'm going to tell you something crazy.
My words are dancing on both of your graves in here.
The Broncos might win this game as long as Nathaniel Hackett doesn't F it up.
That's what PPP said.
I think they can win
He
this
might be
game.
the worst
He's not capable.
I've seen, and I just lived
He's not
2 years
capable.
ago, Judge.
He's not capable of not effing up. He isn't. He's not ready for the job. He's in over his head. In prime time, he's getting murdered, and you're going to go up in prime time against the Chargers at the Chargers. Give me it.
I will say one thing. This is better
Broncos
be the last
country.
time we see the
That's
Broncos. This better
Oh,
be the last.
BBB, I'm glad you good. Well done adding that there. Well done.
All right, guys. Well, I wish, honestly, we ended the show right on that, BBB.
We can cut it. We can cut it. We can.
This has been Scoop and This has been Scoop and Score, a Football Network. We'll see you in week 7. BB.